Welcome back to Red Hawk Media. Today we're going to be taking a look at motion. And currently in class we've been working on commercials, and many of the shots that we'll be working with are actually kind of flowing shots that will be scanning different items. And um, we've got some different clips that we're going to look at today, and one of the key problems that comes along with doing these kind of shots. So I'm going to go ahead. I've already opened up Motion, and I'm at the beginning here where I can define my project properties. Everything that we've been shooting right now has been in 1080p, so I can go ahead and set this up at 1920 by 1080 for the parameters. I'm going to keep the background transparent, and we're going to go ahead and click OK. Once I'm into Motion here, everything gets loaded up. I'm going to right away, so I can see my layers, hit Command 4. And then I'm going to hit Command 7 so I can see my timeline. And immediately, I'm going to go ahead and hit the inspector too. So I've got that over on the side. Get this all arranged here so we are ready to work. All right, now, at this point, what I want to do is I want to take a clip that is a clip showing some apparel. Okay, and I'm going to drag it in to my timeline here and get it right back to the very beginning. Now, the idea of this clip, as you can see, we've got the classic, runway walk type thing here, and they're demonstrating some of the apparel for our school store, the Hawk's Nest. Now, problem with this clip here is even from the beginning, as we watch it, is that we've got some vibration from the dolly that the camera is rolling on. So we want to get rid of that vibration. We want to get rid of the jitteriness. And we'd be able to do this whether the camera was on a dolly or handheld, as long as the shaking isn't like violent. I'm going to go ahead and drag this over so that I can see my entire clip here. And I'm going to change the frames or number of frames more up to like 10,000 and hit enter. And let's go ahead and drag this out so I can manage it a little bit easier. And then I'm going to grab this and drag it all the way over to the end of the clip here, because we want to work with the entire clip. Now, key thing here is I want to stabilize the clip. That's what this is called, a stabilization. Okay, it's one of the behaviors that you can actually add on. So that's my next step is I'm going to go ahead to go to the library, and I'm going to look at the behaviors. And it's called motion tracking. And I've already got that selected. And down below here in the different motion tracking features, we've used analyze motion and we've used match move with the text effects tutorials that we've already done. Now we're going to use stabilize. So I'm going to grab stabilize here, and I'm going to drag it right onto the clip that I want to stabilize. Notice it shows up underneath here, and in my source, either here or over in the inspector, it will show up with the clip. So now we know that it is analyzing or stabilizing the proper thing. Now, the method of stabilization is important. I don't want to just stabilize this clip. I want to make it smooth, okay, so that it is silky smooth. You can't tell that there's all the jittering going on and all that. So now I'm all set up here except for one thing. Where my playhead is, that's where it's going to analyze from. So I'm going to drag that back to the beginning of everything. And now I'm going to let motion do the work here. I'm just going to click Analyze. So it's going to go ahead, go through its process. This is a longer clip of 780 frames here. So I'm going to let it do its thing, and I'll be right back. All right, and we're back here. Now that that's all rendered and it's completely mixed down, we can take a look at the clip here and see how the analyzation worked out. So I bring my playhead back, and let's get right up to the point where we're moving here and watch it now. And it is much smoother now. The way we can tell that this is actually working and see what it did to the clip is we go ahead and we shrink it down here. and you can see the frame moving around on the background now. Now that's going to cause a problem for us because as soon as the frame moves over on one side, for instance, over on the right side here, we're going to see that black background show up, and we don't want that. So we have to resize our picture just a little bit here so that it will account for that movement. So very quickly, just kind of pan through to see what the biggest movement is. Right there, that's a pretty big chunk of movement on the left side. And that looks like, oh, right about there too. That looks about the biggest one. So I go ahead and I click back on my clip. And now holding shift, I'm going to resize it so that it will account for that amount of distance here. And I centered it in there the best I can to make sure it's giving me the shot that I want, which is mostly a focus on the 3 making the walk here. And we go ahead and put that together. Now, I go ahead and scroll through this, make sure that there's no areas where the edges touch. And once I've got that all set, it looks pretty good here. You can see the little tracer in the middle here, and it's tracing all the movements of where that clip is going to as it plays, which is kind of cool. So now it's all smoothed out. Okay, we take out all the jitters, we take out everything. We're going to be cutting the sound from this clip anyway to use it for our commercials, and we're all set. I'd like you to do the same here with one of your shots for your commercial, or you can use the previous dolly shot that we had saved in the folder for the text effects. You can use that to smooth it out, stabilize the clip. So thanks again for joining us. This has been another episode of Red Hawk Media. Bye.